Guys, welcome back. Got a great video today. Poilievre, he went into the 6:40 AM studios with his wife and he gave an awesome interview, question and answers. Stick to the end of the video where you'll hear Poilievre talk about the WEF and how they're trying to just bluff everybody on the climate crisis. But first of all, let's have a throwback to the questions that Poilievre was asking to the banks in 2020.
What if there is an unexpected rise in inflation? What would you do to combat it?
If there is an unexpected rise in inflation, and I don't anticipate that that's going to happen, but if that were to happen, we have all the tools.
What would you do?
Well, we can raise interest rates.
Yeah, that was Tiff Macklin when he was telling everybody back in 2020 to borrow because interest rates and inflation's never been so good. Yeah, whatever. His first question to Poilievre: would you fire him?
Yes, very simple. If a waitress doesn't do her job, what happens to her? A barber, if he doesn't do his job, what happens to him? A mechanic, your engine block falls out after he supposedly fixes it up, he gets fired. But the problem is that Justin Trudeau basically forced the central bank governor to print money in order to fund a reckless deficit spending that has continued, I might add, even years after the COVID pandemic ended. And that spending is bidding up the goods we buy and the interest we pay, and thus we have among the worst inflation in over a generation. Today we see inflation rising further, which means that the problem is not behind us. And one of the things that is evident is that the carbon tax is driving up inflation. That's right in the report from StatsCan today. Higher taxes and spending from Justin Trudeau are driving up your cost of living. The more he spends, the more things cost. We need to fire Trudeau and bring in a common sense conservative government that will cap spending, cut waste, balance the budget to bring in lower interest rates and inflation.
Okay, so let's say you get Justin Trudeau fired and you become the Prime Minister. The biggest question, I gotta say, the biggest question everybody wants to know, people out there, commentators on this channel, they want to know, how are you going to fix the mess that Trudeau's going to leave behind?
Well, it's a mess after 8 years of Trudeau. Everything costs more, work doesn't pay, housing costs have doubled, crime, chaos, drugs, and disorder are common in our streets. We're now seeing, after 8 years of Trudeau, nurses who live in vans, carpenters who live in parking lots, seniors in Penticton now are gathering in parking lots where they now live, middle-class seniors. Rent has doubled in Toronto. You're lucky if you pay $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment. This was unthinkable. But the good news is that life wasn't like this before Canada, before Justin Trudeau, and it won't be like this after he's gone. We can turn the hurt that he has caused into the hope that Canadians need, and that's what I'm going to bring home.
A lot of our older viewers, over 60s, seniors, they want to know what you're going to do to help seniors once you become the Prime Minister of Canada.
Well, they're not getting any extra supports from Justin Trudeau. What they're getting is extra costs. I'll give them affordable heat by axing the carbon tax. I'll reduce their gas and grocery bills with that same end to the carbon. The carbon tax is driving up food bills. When you tax the farmer that produces the food and the trucker that ships the food, you tax all that buy the food, and that includes seniors who are now choosing between eating and heating. I will axe the tax. I'll also get the budget balanced so we can bring down inflation and interest rates that have hurt our seniors more than almost anyone else. We'll bring in tax relief for seniors on their savings so that they can stretch out their RSPs longer, and other measures that will make it possible for our seniors to have a dignified retirement, something that Trudeau's inflation has taken away from them.
Would you go back to 67 for the retirement age?
No, but I do think it is unfortunate the way the tax system and the clawbacks punish working seniors. Those who choose to earn a few extra dollars do get punished by the system, and we need to take a look at that. Overall, our system punishes work, but by all age groups. If you're a single mom earning $60,000 a year with 3 kids, you go out and earn an extra dollar, you lose 80 cents in clawbacks of your child benefit and taxes on your income. So we're punishing work in Canada. I want to reform clawbacks, cut taxes so that hard work pays off and Canadians bring home more of each dollar they earn.
So let's move on to housing. How would you solve well, we have a huge housing crisis in Canada, especially in Toronto and Vancouver. Would you link housing to funding? How would you solve the housing crisis?
Yes, absolutely. Look, after 8 years of Trudeau, the rent has doubled, mortgage payments have doubled, down payments have doubled. This is a new problem. Canada always had affordable housing, and for obvious reasons, we have so much land to house people on. That's why it's so bonkers that we pay 45 to 75% more for real estate in Canada than they do in the U.S., where they have 8 times the demand on a smaller land mass. So my common sense plan is, first of all, let's balance the budget to bring down interest rates on mortgages. 2, why do we have so few houses? Why do we have the fewest homes per capita in the G7, even though we have the most land to build on? Why is Vancouver the 3rd most and Toronto the 10th most unaffordable city in the world? Why did UBS, a major global bank, say Toronto has the worst housing bubble in the world? When it didn't even register on the list 8 years ago. Why? We don't have enough houses. Why? Because governments block building. We have the 2nd slowest building permits of any country in the OECD. That adds $350,000 to the cost of every home in Toronto and over $1 million to the cost of every new home in Vancouver. So my common sense plan is to require big cities permit 15% more home building per year, or I will withhold their federal grants. Those that beat the 15% target will get a building bonus, and I'll require every federally funded transit station be pre-approved for high-density apartments so seniors and students can live right next to the bus and train. Finally, I'm going to sell off 6,000 federal buildings and thousands of acres of federal land so that we can build the homes that our youth, our workers, our people can afford.
So your critics have said that you've been spreading misinformation. I don't know where they're getting that from. You've been questioning the WEF, which, to be honest, I think we all should. They're just a crazy bunch of rich people jetting around the world to meet up to tell us how to live our lives. I'm totally with you on that one, and I think everybody, just leave a comment if you agree that the WEF are a complete waste of time. But what's your opinion, proper, full opinion on the WEF?
Well, I say that they are the ones spreading disinformation. They want to support a organization that brings together billionaires, multinational corporations, and other powerful insiders who show up with 1,000 private jets to burn fossil fuels and meet in a recluse Swiss village where they talk about bringing in higher carbon taxes on working class people. If Justin Trudeau and the NDP want to work for the global billionaire elite, they can do that. I'm going to be working for the people.
Do you think it's just a distraction?
No, we need to stand up for the people in this country who do the work of this nation. We need a prime minister who will champion the common sense of the common people, united for our common home, and that is what I'm going to do.